Hi, Professor. My name is Shay Twinter. This is EDL 851, Module 13. I want to start by thanking you for giving me a little extra time. I have more voice today than I did before, and we're better at speaking through this. I apologize in advance for the coughing if it happens. This case study was centered around the viewpoint of a new administrator who is dealing with a teacher who has come across some life struggles and is letting their life struggles impact their professional career and their professional performance. So what we know is that Mrs. Horton, who is a teacher in the school district for many years, has gone through a personal uh, tragedy, and she is starting to take it out in her class. She's not present to work in her classroom. She's not willing to try new things, and she's not using the most up-to-date strategies. She is, harsh with her students. She's defensive with her parents. She acts out in anger. She's no longer a positive cultural influence at the school. She has now become a hindrance and very negative effect. We need to know if Mrs. Horton can get any help to make that turnaround, or if it's something that's not going to happen. We need to know if she's willing to make the changes, or if she's set in her ways and it's not going to change. So knowing that there's a problem in the classroom and knowing that she's most likely reacting to personal stress, the issue now is to decide whether or not she's capable and willing, I should put forth, of teaching in the classroom by herself successfully, or if she is not willing anymore and in turn is a danger to the educational process and needs to be removed. So my first plan of action is to sit down and talk with her, human to human, and just level with her and say, hey, we understand that your personal life right now is horrendous and that you're struggling, and to just help her validate and to identify the fact that she's a human being as well as a teacher. I think teachers, I know for sure, and probably a lot of other people who dedicate their lives to work, and not so much on personal care, and it catches up with them. Kind of like when you're sick, like when I'm sick, and I had to say, I'm done. I need to go home and I need to get rest. This is the white flag. Mrs. Horton needs help. And hopefully she identifies and she owns up to the fact that what's happening here is not okay. She's not okay at home. She's not okay at school. Identifying that there's a problem is the first step. And then making sure that, yes, there's a problem at school, but making sure that she's getting the help as a human being and reaching out. I had a situation that happened. I teach middle school choir, and I teach a lot of students. I have approximately 300, and I had a 7th grader who has a very short fuse, as some people can identify with, and he got in trouble in class and was really headed into making some bad choices, and I stopped him and was able to tell him, hey, out of all of our situations, have I ever proved to you that I've never cared? And he was able to answer to me, no, you always care, and you could just see the relief cross over his face, and he was then able to make good choices. And I know that he's 13, and she's probably not 13, but I think as a human, that goes everywhere. Knowing someone validates your feelings, and they understand how you are feeling, and that they care, can really help that defensive shield break. And hopefully the school can be supportive enough to help her find the help that she needs, pointing her in the direction of a counselor, or just saying, hey, it's okay, we're here with you, let's get you some help. And as much as we want to be compassionate and graceful, that goes for a little bit, right? We're also in the business of educating students. And we need her to understand that what's happening in the classroom is not okay. And what's happening in the classroom is damaging these students' careers. Something needs to change. And if she identifies it and says, yeah, I know, I just don't know how to do it. Or if she says, yeah, I know I'm taking it out on them. I need to do this and this and this. Those are steps for the better. And if they're willing to change, then we can start implementing some strategies that would be beneficial. The counselors can help her work with students who may be really behaviorally a difficult thing to accomplish. They can pull the students out and work on some strategies. They can help her identify, okay, well, this student doesn't work well with this student, and so let's move them in their seats. Let's try this. When this happens, let's implement this. Maybe some plans of action so that when Ms. Horton goes into that classroom, she has some more tools in her toolbox to pull out when she sees problems happening. You're going to have to keep up regular meetings, check in often, make unannounced visits. I think that might have skipped the slide. Yeah, okay, so establishing a team of teachers who are willing to lend assistance. I learn a lot from the fellow teachers. Like, I learn more sometimes from my fellow teachers than I do from professionals in the field, like higher up than what I am, because they know how to teach. Someone who is, a speaker can teach greatly. Sorry. But teachers know how to teach. They know how to get from A to Z and to do it well. Okay. So we talked about establishing a team of teachers. Sorry. There it goes. Counselors can help. Regular meetings. If Mrs. Horton says, no, I'm not going to do it, you guys are all crazy, you don't understand what's going on, and she's still very defiant, she's still very angry, she's still very defensive, it is time to research our legal options at removing her from the classroom. I know in situations past, teachers who were no longer successful in the classroom were moved to where their impact on students was less great. They were to assess, they were assigned other positions. I know sometimes they were assigned other positions because the district knew that they wouldn't accept them and then they would leave. You could, depending on what their legal action is, if they can remove her, if they cannot remove her, offer her a break in her contract so she can go take care of whatever she needed to. But her impact on the classroom, if she is defiant, needs to be minimized. So the students in this situation need a teacher who's willing to use the most up-to-date teaching strategies to attain comprehension, and who can also relate to the students in a positive way. And I'm not talking like, unicorns and rainbows and everything like that, but a teacher who has a smart way of maintaining classroom behavior, but yet being supportive and positive. Mrs. Horton can't do this right now. And so starting the process with Mrs. Horton is the first priority since she's the center of it all. It is possible, maybe, have another teacher come in and team teach throughout the day. Multiple teachers come in and team teach to help relieve the stress immediately. Mrs. Horton can kind of help then. She can see what to do, but the students can also get a little bit of relief too, and together they can kind of start working on that relationship of trust. So as I'm reading this, I'm going, this Mrs. Horton could be anyone. This Miss Horton could be the teacher I work with next door. If she were to go through this, it could be us. We all have these life events that hit us, and we can't decide how they're going to affect us until we're in them. And so, in a sense, I validate what she's feeling, and I get it. She's human. She's acting out in anger. She's been wronged, and it's horrible. But when I think about her students, then I feel like the parents had a right to be irritated with her. Instead of doing the right thing and taking care of her frustrations and her anger and in her home life at home, she has dragged it into the classroom, which is not good. These students are looking to her for guidance and they're not getting it. In a sense, I'm valuing each side's position on this topic. Yes, Mrs. Horton has been through a horrible event and needs some emotional support, but she doesn't have the right to take it out on her students. We need to find another way for her to get the help that she needs. So the unresolved item is, hey, Mrs. Horton, are you willing to change? Are you willing to implement these interventions so that this situation makes a better turn, or are you done? If she's ready to make a change, progress can be made. If she is defiant and defensive, then she's going to have to be removed from the classroom. So component 1, I promoted the success of every student in the situation by making sure they had a teacher who was willing to use up the most up-to-date and efficient teaching strategies to guarantee comprehension. And I promoted the well-being of every student, making sure they had a teacher who could communicate to them in a positive and effective way. And then I increased the instructional capacity by providing Mrs. Horton with the support that she needed to not only implement the new teaching strategies, but by giving her a team of teachers to assist, but also to maintain a classroom full of students who may have different behavioral needs, who can be supported by interventions led by the counselors. And I believe that is all. Once again, thank you very much for dealing with my cold. I appreciate it, and have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas.